JJ, what did you see in that third quarter as you're able to kind of battle back in and at least make it a game going into the fourth?
Yeah, look, expected score, we were down to it at halftime. Expected score, we won by 2. First half, we had the highest paint touch rate we've had in a half, I think, or one of the highest paint touch rates we've had. We've been one of the best non-rim paint 2 teams in the league. We shot 5 for 13 there. They blitzed us from 3, and in that first half, and we outscored them by 1 the last 3 quarters. Unfortunately, that's not how basketball works, and you end up losing the game by 21. So I thought our fight was good. There was a lot of moments when we certainly could have broken, and we didn't. And it's a credit to our guys.
Anything you saw from the threes that they were hitting? Did they just hit tough ones? Were you?
Yeah, I mean, look,
testing how you wanted?
Jaylen Brown is a low 30% off the dribble 3-point shooter. He hits 3 threes in a row in the third quarter. Jordan Walsh, we were willing to live with, his threes. We got to give up something. He hits 4 of them. We ended up getting a contest on 3 of them. So you got to be willing to live with certain things, and they made us pay. And that's. You can talk about a game plan all you want, but you got to be able to figure out what you're willing to live with. And we've obviously done that many times, and they made us pay tonight.
I was just curious about the expected score that you referenced. Is that an internal metric?
That's you can find that anywhere. That's our internal metric. I mean, most teams have that. Some of the analytics stuff has that, but that's based on shot quality, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Is that something you reference regularly, like game to game?
We know what it is at halftime every game. Some of that is, we talk about scoring opportunity battle. We talk about expected score. Yeah.
How do you think Gabe has kind of progressed and looked since he got back from that injury? He missed a lot of time with that ankle injury, and now having him start for back-to-back games with Luka out. How do you think Gabe's kind of looked and progressed in this role?
Just again, we've talked about trying to get him back into a rhythm that he ended the season, the last 3-4 months shooting the basketball really well, playing really high level for us, and started had a great preseason, and then gets hurt. I think in game 2, so or game 3, whatever the Sacramento game was. So just trying to get him back in a rhythm, and when we're whole, that role could fluctuate for him in terms of playing time. But he's obviously got to play minutes, and it was good to see him make some shots tonight.
JJ, you've talked a lot in your time here about divorcing process from results as much as possible. When your guys' results have been as good as they've been, and you have a night where the process was to standard but the result isn't there, how much of your message to your team is centered around that, and did you center that on any specific people or players just to kind of reinforce that?
We talked about it after the game. We talked about it at halftime, frankly. We, I think, way more consistently than we did last year, have sort of audited and shown the team what we're auditing more consistently this season, and why we want those things, and trying to explain to them. So I don't think tonight was any different. The tape is not going to lie in terms of effort and physicality and all that stuff, but I thought our group fought, and I thought our group had the right spirit.
Coach, you mentioned before the game that you've seen Derek White start to turn things around after a slow start shooting. Just what does it do for the Celtics when he gets going offensively?
Yeah, I mean it's tough when you have guys that can break down their defender and force a reaction from the defense, and when the defense does react, outside of the Cada minutes, they played small, and those guys are capable shooters. Walsh, Josh Minot, Derek White, obviously he's been on our laser board last season, and so it's a in terms of their philosophy of how they're going to play and their roster, it's a great match, and Derek's a big part of that.
You had mentioned that there's a chance that Luka's back on Sunday. Is that the hope for LeBron as well, like coming off of the back-to-back, or was there anything else that kind of popped up in that game?
I mean, the hope for all the guys would be that they're available Sunday. That's the hope for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were just making a lot of shots, especially in that first quarter. I feel like there were some times where we lacked physicality on the they do a lot of DHOs in the corner, and they were stopping behind and shooting those. They 4-point line space, and that's tough to guard because it's a long closeout and they're shooting from deep. But they were making shots, and obviously you got to live with some of them, but a lot of them, it was just one of those nights for them, and they were making a lot of threes. But yeah, I mean, outside of the first quarter, I mean, I'm pretty sure we won the last 3 quarters by 1 point. So it was really just that first quarter.
It's been there've been a number of these difficult back-to-backs so far this season. You had the kind of the win at Portland, the win at Milwaukee after the travel, this one after the win last night. Did you guys feel any collective fatigue in the legs, especially being shorthanded, or do you feel like you were able to get over that hump?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were a little tired. Obviously, like you said, it was one of those back-to-backs, late nights, not a lot of sleep, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, our job is to, come out here on the court, and that starting group, me included, obviously, is we're supposed to, come out with the bang, come out with some pop, kind of get the game going, and just didn't happen. So,
Isn't been the first time this season where you had a game where there's no LeBron and no Luka, and AR's kind of the focal point. What has he shown you and the rest of your teammates in those moments? Obviously, didn't get the result you wanted tonight, but another huge production night for him coming off a back-to-back like the rest of you.
But yeah, I mean, he scores the ball at a very high level. He can score in a variety of different ways, 3 levels. Just very elite at what he does. And yeah, he had 36 points again tonight after 44 last night. So he's just continuing to do amazing things, and he's having a really good season.
JJ's talked about trying to be a process team and not necessarily look at kind of like the result. When a game gets away from you guys early, how do you feel like you did in terms of just like staying true to the process for the whole 48 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did a good job. We won the last 3 quarters by 1 point. I thought we did a better job at getting contests and being more physical on defense. Then our offense started kind of coming together, and we started making some shots and all that. But again, they scored 40 in the first quarter, and we scored 17. So we just dug ourselves a hole.
Gabe, when a team gets hot from 3 like that, and even if you feel like you're getting pretty good contests out, is there anything else to do in that case, and what did you guys try to enact to get back into the ball game?
I think some of their looks early, they got us in terms like they got space, they got a shot up. Boston's been doing that for years, coming out in the first quarter and getting hot. So, like Jake mentioned, I think you let a team get that much of a gap, you dig yourself a hole, and it's hard to come back out of. But we continue to fight, we continue to work towards it. I mean, it's good to say we won the last 3 quarters, but obviously we lost the game. That's what's important. But we stayed true to our process. We kept working. Things balanced out a little bit.
JJ said he's hopeful that you'll get kind of the rest of the guys back, and LeBron and Luka for the game on Sunday. What's the level of importance for you guys as a team to kind of not have the 2 losses in a row, which has been something you've been able to do up to this point? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, if we could be whole, that'd be amazing. If we're not, it's next man up, and we gotta find a way to get a win. Obviously, you don't want to go streaking in the wrong direction. So we had a good start to this trip, amazing win last night, tough one tonight, and we got a day of rest, and hope we take care of business on Sunday.
Going a little bit big picture, you've seen different iterations of this team over the last few years and been alongside Austin Reaves as he fit into the different iterations. 80 points over the last 2 nights in the back-to-back, and especially tonight with no Luka and LeBron. Just what has he kind of meant to this team, production and leadership-wise, this year?
I mean, I think he's been a spark for us in a number of ways. I don't think it's as much of fitting in as it is just being himself, and we need him to be himself. We need him to be aggressive. We need him to create. He does so much for us offensively. We rely on him night in, night out. So that's a testament to him and how he's been taking care of himself and his leadership to come and bring it every night.
JJ says that you guys kind of rely on Marcus to kind of set the tone in terms of physicality. Obviously, he's been out in the last few games. What's kind of your responsibility, or how do you kind of take that on when he's out and kind of set that tone?
I think all 5 on the court need to be physical. I don't think we're relying on one person alone to be physical. Obviously, Marcus does a great job of that. He's been a great defender his whole career. He's been a physical player. But we all, whatever 5's out there needs to do that. That's the standard I think we're setting for ourselves in terms of Laker basketball, and that's what we need to live up to.
The threes just seem to keep falling from Boston. What did you notice anything about where they were getting the shots from? If you guys tried to adjust and how you tried to get back from it?
I don't know. They just made a lot of shots in the first quarter. What was it, 46 to? What was the final score of the first quarter? Do you know? Try here, brother.
39-17 maybe.
Oh shit. Sorry, TT. Yeah, that's a pretty bad quarter. Thought I was really bad to start the game. Missed some shots, had some turnovers. I got to be better, and we just got to come out of the gate a little hotter.
For you last night, a big ask just from a load standpoint, and then coming back. How do you find your legs in that second half and kind of get going and have the big quarter to get the team back into the game?
We get the opportunity to, play the game we love almost every night. Unfortunately, sometimes it is, back-to-backs when you get in late, and but at the same time, you still get an opportunity to go, play the game you love. So you just find, some energy somewhere to, try to go compete at the highest level, and just wanted to give us an opportunity to, fight back into the game.
How important is it for the team to be more process-driven than results-driven, and I guess where do you think this team is at in that kind of understanding that the results are great, but it's going to be the process that matters most?
I think we talk about that a lot, as a group. The process doesn't always, result into wins right then, but in the long haul, if you stick to that process and you believe in the process, then, like I said, in the long haul, it'll be better for the group. It's frustrating when you are trust the process and you lose. But at the same time, you got to, understand that there's many more games and many more situations where the process is successful.
You mentioned before the game.
I'm surprised you landed the plane.
I completely forgot what I was talking about. But anyways.
JJ mentioned before the game, felt like you were going to see some coverage from Jordan Walsh. What stands out to him about a player? I don't know how familiar you are with his game and the way he's able to pressure the ball, but stood out about the impact he had on this game with that defensive pressure.
Yeah, he just plays hard as crap. Every single possession, he don't take a possession off, and his ability, his length, his athleticism. He's physically gifted, moves really well. So I could see him being, one of the best defenders in the league for many years to come. He made shots tonight. He's a good player.
You guys have said either 11 or 12 different starting lineups through 22 games. Obviously, I'm sure there's a desire to build continuity with the group that you'll ride for the majority of the year, but is there any benefit, someone like you, the ball's in your hand a lot, having the actual on-court experience playing with the different groups if you're going to be using them later on?
Yeah, because you never know. In game situations, anything can happen. If we're fully healthy, I could go out there and get in foul trouble in the first quarter, or Luka get in foul trouble, Brian get in foul trouble, and getting these reps with these guys, and I would say we've had some weird lineups out there at times, just because of the situation that we've been in. But I feel like everybody's done a really good job of stepping up and playing hard and playing the right way. And I think, like I said, in some game down the road, something unfortunate's going to happen in a sense of in foul trouble or something like that, and you can roll out, a lineup, that we've seen, over these first 22 games.
Just zooming out a little bit, as you started to see more of the on-ball looks and more defensive attention, maybe even especially last year, How do you feel like you've used that now this year when you're seeing some of those same looks, but you've seen it before now, like as that primary on-ball guy, and how has that evolved, do you feel like?
Just continuing to get more comfortable in all situations. I remember the first time I got blitzed in the NBA. I mean, I've been blitzed before, high school, college, but we were playing the Clippers, and I came off my first ball screen of the game in the first quarter, and T. Lue blitzed me, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I haven't done this in 4 years." So, just being able to get those reps and understand that any time the other team can throw any coverage, not just me but Luka, and just knowing where to be when the ball needs to be in a certain spot, and just being comfortable with what the reads are.